Seven Footers crew, what is going on? You guys know every week it's your girl Jenna and Jarod here in his
Mhm.
Chicago Bulls red.
Not
How you doing?
I'm good. Not supporting the Bulls, although they're playing pretty decent basketball. Zach LaVine doing his thing. DeMar DeRozan, Nikola Vucevic, Io DeSuno. Listen, I like a lot of the stuff the Bulls got going.
Yeah, they're looking good. Plus, they're missing some key pieces, but
Lonzo Ball, yep, yep.
they're getting by. Um, you know, the news has been really super duper
hmm
slow.
hmm
Nothing going on in the association.
Nothing at all.
No franchises, in shambles, none facing a major press run. But let's talk about what's going on around the association. We got a lot of things to chat about. Somebody, maybe we could start here. Somebody was telling me today, they were like, "Are we really talking about how the Jazz are like good?"
Yo, the Jazz are so
Mm-hmm.
good. So Laurie
What
Markkinen,
the heck?
yeah, so remember Laurie Markkinen played Eurobasket for Finland, and he was awesome this summer in Eurobasket. And we were like, yo, if he can carry that over into the NBA season, look out. And when he was on Cleveland, that really wasn't the role he had on that team, right? To be like the main guy because they had Darius Garland, et cetera, et cetera. Well, now in Utah, he is that dude. And I mean, look, you know my basketball love language, Jenna. 7-footers who can shoot. I mean, like, right? That's my
Oh, I
jam.
know.
And Laurie Markkinen, I mean, he's really good. He's playing well. He was interviewed the other day after a win, and he said, we hear the talk about tanking and that we hear that and that motivates us. And the thing that I want like fans to understand and remember, organizations may want to tank. Players don't. These dudes are competitive as fuck. You don't
Right.
make it to this league without being uber competitive. They want to win. Nobody wants to come to work and lose every day. That sucks. Okay,
Yeah.
like these guys are battling. So they're professional players and they're very good. So kudos. Now the question is, come December, is Danny Ainge going to be like, all right, you guys are too good. Let me start figuring out some ways to make sure you're not as good.
I can't. And I mean, hey, yeah, these guys too, they obviously don't want to lose, but they're not on board with this shit because I mean, hey, they're playing for their livelihood to be traded out of there, to be some type of, prosperous market piece.
Mm-hmm,
So,
mm-hmm.
I hear you. I hear you.
And look, we get it, right? Victor Wembanyama, Scoot Henderson, all that sounds well and good. But man, current players don't worry about stuff like that. They're not thinking about, I'm going to play the Victor. No, they're thinking about, no, how am I going to kill in the league right now? Like that's what their focus is. So
Yeah.
kudos. I'm loving what I'm seeing from the Jazz. You know what else I'm liking, Jenna? The rookies. Now look, Orlando still stinks.
I
Okay,
love a good rookie conversation.
let's just be clear. Orlando still stinks,
They
but
still beat the Warriors the other night.
they sure did. Paolo Banchero, this kid, Jenna, he, when I watch him, I say grown man. Like physically, I'm like, oh, this dude is legit. Now, he's still a rookie, so he does rookie things. And like, as
Yeah.
time goes on, you get better. But my God, listen, if they can figure out and kind of get things moving in the right direction in Orlando, this team can be very good, Jenna, in the future.
Sorry, I'm still processing it. It's
Orlando
been a
could be good in the
minute for
future.
Orlando. It has. It's been a minute for them. So yeah, I mean, hey, impressive stuff out of them, and that's what happens when you got a top pick in the draft. You
For like
get
a
a
million years in a
Paolo.
row.
Hey, at least they're trying. Maybe this one will finally work out. We shall see. Let's move on and talk about a little bit of the Warriors for a second.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
saw
yeah.
them in the news. They've been all over it. And also, the refs and the NBA cracking down on
hmm
carrying.
Oh yeah.
I believe the
So
conversation started with them, didn't it?
well, Jordan Poole, he is a bit of a carry when he.
That was a carry on the one
Oh,
play
for sure it
that
was.
it was based on.
And you know what's so interesting, right? Like they can NBA refs can call carrying more often than they do, right? Because it happens probably a lot more frequently. So it's just something to be mindful of and watch and crack down on. And Jordan will adjust and make some changes. It's funny that you mentioned the Warriors, Jenna, because so they won last night, which is nice for them. Steph Curry was a monster, 40 something points, like just doing
Per
Steph
usual.
type things. Man, but that bench, I don't know, man. Like, look, here's the thing. When you are doing this 2 timelines thing that the Warriors are doing, which is we're going to extend the primes of Steph, Clay, and Draymond, but also we're going to do that by developing Wiseman, Kuminga, Poole, and Moody. Well, when you're developing those players, that development happens in real games that count in the standings. And sometimes in those developments, you're going to have losses, right?
Mhm.
The Warriors starting 5 has the number 3 net rating in the league. If you just take off one starter out of the starting 5, just one, and put a bench person in, Jenna, that net rating plummets. So once you start getting those second unit, just 1 second unit guy, disaster strikes. And, look, it's going to take them a while. They're going to need some time to get their reps and continue to get better. But in those reps, they're going to lose a lot of games,
Yeah.
right? It's just going to happen. Now, if you're the Warriors, I know Warriors fans are freaking out on Warriors Twitter, being like, get these guys out of here, this and that. Listen, it's amazing how spoiled fan bases get. I mean, listen, Warriors fans,
Especially in the Bay.
right? Warriors fans, y'all was trash pre-2015. Trash and a half, okay? Y'all won 4 titles in the last 8 seasons. Calm yourselves, okay? Calm down.
Yeah.
You'll be fine, okay? Give your young guys a chance. What Kerr is trying to figure out right now is, again, it's an 82-game season. Can these guys get good enough so that come April, they can play meaningful playoff minutes? I don't think we can make that assessment on November 8th. Now, if this is continuing in February, all right, now you got something to talk about. But give it a little bit of time.
Yeah, agreed. But I mean, hey, definitely something to keep an eye on, because if those the first and second unit there can't gel, I mean, we talked about this in previous episodes. I mean, this Warriors core is not getting any younger. I mean, injuries are more not few and far between at this point. So you're going to need those guys. So let's not go too far and talk about why I've been so sad. The Lakers, they're still losing.
Yeah.
2-8 start, back-to-back losses to the Cavs and the Jazz. It's almost like it rhymes. It's kind of fun, but it's not fun. Okay, it's not. And now you have people like Bill Simmons coming out and saying that there's buzz that Anthony Davis could be,
traded.
possibly traded, which is an interesting talking point, to say the least. What are your thoughts initially?
Jenna, the Lakers aren't good. Can we agree upon that? Like, they're not a good basketball team.
All right, fine.
Okay. I mean, that's just stating facts.
No, you're right. I mean, they were 33-49 last season. Like, here we are again.
So I watched that game on Sunday against the Cavs. And Jenna, they don't run anything in the half court. Like, literally, they run no. I'm like, what are you guys doing on offense in the half court? I see nothing. I'm like, if their defense doesn't turn into offense in transition, they're not scoring. As LeBron said after game 1, it's not like we got a bunch of lasers on our team. Correct. Y'all can't shoot. Okay. Not very good.
No shooting, no defense at this point in those games anyway.
Well, look, the defense is still pretty good. It did not look great against the Jazz on Monday night. But I just look, this roster is just poorly constructed. We've discussed this ad nauseum. Until they get better players around LeBron and AD, this is what it's going to be. And LeBron is not at the age where he can turn into 28-year-old prime LeBron. No, that ain't it. Like, that is not it. He cannot physically do that. He's still a very good basketball player, but he is no longer the best player in the world, right? Like, he can't do that. And if he ain't that, I don't know what you're going to do. And Anthony Davis is actually playing pretty well.
Yes. What is he averaging? Like 29 points.
Yeah, and he's playing excellent defense.
Right.
But he's got to clean up so many mistakes. Again, this roster is not good. Look, everybody getting hyped. Russ in the second unit. Look, if Russ is hitting shots, great. But it's still the Russ solo show, right? I mean, he's still just going out and getting his numbers, not really helping the team do anything when I watch them. So until this team decides to get serious about the rest of its roster, and I don't know what they can do other than trade that 2027 first round pick, Jenna, I don't know how they're going to get better. Not in the Western Conference with the teams above them. They're just better.
Yeah. No, facts. I mean, do Do you think it's so bad to the point where they need to trade Anthony Davis and blow it up and build around LeBron?
I
Or
mean,
is it like, okay, wait, let's see?
so Anthony Davis is a valuable piece, and you will get back a lot of stuff for Anthony Davis. The question is, what can you get back so that this year you are a title contender? And I
Yeah.
don't know that Anthony Davis will give you back anything this year to make you a title contender. You see what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
think you'll get some you can get some young all-stars, you'll get a lot of draft picks, which will help replenish your draft capital. But the Lakers have never been about draft capital and building and develop. That's not what they do. They're like, we're LA. Superstars just want to come here. All right,
That's
man.
true.
Cool. Good luck with that. Okay. Because that roster, as constructed, now, Thomas Bryant will be back another week or two. He will help them tremendously. They're going to get some pieces back. We'll see what happens going forward. Look, we keep saying it's early. Jenna, when we get to the 20 game mark, if they are still on the same trajectory that they're on right now, I mean, barring a miracle, this is what they're going to be.
Well, I hope miracles happen more often than they do. Okay. Also, I didn't mention at the top of the episode that it's election day that we're recording this on, so there are no games today, so everybody can get out and vote. Which is the NBA, which is great. But also, the day before on Monday, all 30 teams played.
Yeah,
What
it was
a
kind of cool.
beautiful day for us.
It was very cool. It was very cool. And what I loved about it, especially, Jenna, was each game starting 15 minutes after the one prior.
So giving.
So when you're watching, if a game's going down to the wire, like it often does on League Pass night, and you got to flip back and forth between 4 games, you didn't have that problem last night, right? It was like, all right, cool. This game's ending. That game's not in the fourth quarter yet. Like, right, you can really watch. And we had some compelling games last night, so that was cool. I do wonder, the league is always innovating. If Adam saw that and is like, you know what, that worked out pretty well for us. Let's see if we can do more of those kinds of nights going forward.
I love that. You said you saw some compelling games. So talk to me about who you're watching on League Pass and what's the team that you have on your radar.
Oh man, Jenna, I mentioned them to start at the top of the show. The Cavs, they look so good, Jenna. Like,
oh, I just love it. I love
it's
Cleveland.
Here's the thing. Like, so I was not a Donovan Mitchell fan, but
you know who was?
Oh, well, yes, you. Yes, let's
one.
Let's make it clear. Let's make it clear. On this podcast, Jenna was a Spider Mitchell fan from the jump.
Thank you for saying that.
I saw him kind of as a volume scorer who was pretty inefficient, right? Is kind of how I viewed him. Incorrectly. Because I mean, he has his inefficient nights. Like, no one shoots efficiently every single night. But he's so much more than that, and he's such a better creator than I gave him credit for. And the vibe and the environment he's in now, he seems to be enjoying that so much more than where he was in Utah in the previous seasons. And this team is fun. Him and Garland in the backcourt, that is dangerous. Evan Mobley's not even playing well yet. Evan Mobley, Karis LeVert shooting the ball well right now. Jared Allen. This team is fun, Jenna. Look, it's early, but they are the number 1 team in adjusted net rating right now in the NBA. Like, they're now. Do I think they're going to win a championship? Let's pump the brakes, right? They're probably an elite wing talent away from being that, but they're going to be a good team, and I like that they're growing in that direction. So who knows what they could do? I'm really loving what I'm seeing in Cleveland, Jenna.
I love that.
Of course, I'm watching Memphis as always. They're holding water until Jaren Jackson Jr. gets back defensively. They're struggling a little bit, but John Morant's still playing like an MVP. The Mavericks are interesting, Jenna. So Luka Doncic, is on a string of like 30-plus point games to start the season.
Well, he has to be.
And everybody's saying MVP, and he very well might be MVP. They're number 3, I believe, in adjusted net rating in the league so far. You know what this is giving me vibes of, Jenna? Houston James Harden. That's exactly what this is looking like right now.
I do that reaction because you know what it looks like down the line.
Well, that's exactly why I brought it up. Looking great in the regular season, and when you got to carry that heavy load, we'll see what he looks like come April, May when the playoffs are here. Is he going to be exhausted come April? I mean, I'll put it like this. If he has to continue on the output he's doing now, yes, he will be. So they got to figure some things out in Dallas. But overall, the league, I mean, quietly, the Bucks are 8-1, and they're just kind of humming along.
Quietly,
You
still
know,
quietly. Why is nobody giving them the time of day? I know it's Milwaukee and people are afraid of deer, but like, really?
it's I fear the deer. It's so funny because I think Giannis. So basketball Twitter has a funny thing, right? Like where there's a certain aesthetic that the majority of basketball fans like to see. And that aesthetic tends to lean towards players like Kyrie, uh, Steph, KD, back in the day, Kobe, AI, right? Guys who have sizzle and flash to their games,
The
who hit
start.
who hit you with the hezzy cross, all the fun stuff that makes you go ooh ah and jump out your seat and lose your mind, right? And to be fair, basketball is an aesthetic game, and those are things you should enjoy as a fan. Giannis don't got none of that in his quote unquote bag, right? That's not.
He's got jokes. He's got dad jokes. A
He's
lot of
got dad
shoes.
jokes, but what he is he's a battering ram, right? He just comes downhill, and it's like good luck stopping that 7 foot, 200 and whatever million-pound he is freight train coming at you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he just
Mm-hmm.
overwhelms you at the rim. So it's not pretty in terms of like ooh ah. It's just overwhelming you with sheer force and power. But here's the thing, Jenna: a hezzy pull-up jumper for two counts the same as a dunk at the rim, right? They're worth the same amount of points.
Facts.
So, and Giannis is just devastating. And so they're doing all this with Middleton still not back yet, Pat Connaughton not back yet. Listen, a lot of people, they're only 2 years removed from a championship. They took the Boston Celtics, who went to the NBA Finals in 7 games last year
Yep.
without Middleton. So you have to assume they get Middleton back. And Connaughton, this team is right back as the best team in the Eastern Conference. So watch out for the Bucks.
Heck yeah. Real quick, what about
Mm.
these Clippers here with that win over the Cavs? Paul George putting the team on his back.
Mhm.
No Kawhi.
Sure did.
Hello.
Sure did. Sure did. Second night of a back-to-back for Cleveland. So, always tough when you got to play. And,
Mm-hmm.
second night of a back-to-back in LA in case you went out the night before. Had a little, got a little saucy over at Horses or over at, Catch or at Delilah, wherever these people hang out in LA.
Damn, Gerard. Damn.
Shouts to all the people at those places. Look, it happens. Kawhi's got to carry the load right now because, and Jenna, we said this last week. I'm a little concerned. This is now what's the 6th straight game, 7th straight game Kawhi's missed. This isn't as simple as load management where we're protecting your injury. Like it seems to me, this chronic injury is a problem. And as I said last week, playing NBA basketball doesn't seem to be helping. So look, I'll say it as succinctly as I can. If he can't play, this team is not a contender. End of story.
That's it. We said it already. That's it. So onward and upward. Who else do we got in our bag here? How the Sixers doing? How they doing before we move on to the Nets? Because that one's gonna be
they're the Sixers, that Embiid's back. They're starting to come together a little bit. The thing to watch in Philadelphia, I don't know that Doc Rivers' message is getting through anymore. Pay attention to that. His days in Philly might be numbered.
oof.
Just keep an eye, because Doc's saying the right things. We got to get them to do this, this, and this. Okay, you're saying it, Doc, but they ain't doing it. So something's happening somewhere along the line there. So just again, 10 games, give it another 10 games and see where the Sixers are. If they haven't turned things around, that seat getting a little hot down in Philly.
Dang. Okay. What else we got? Or should we talk about the Nets?
It's so funny because as I said to you in the show notes, like I'm exhausted talking about the Nets and Kyrie, like literally exhausted.
Yeah.
And if I'm exhausted, how the hell do you think the people that work in that building feel? Again, as I said last week, no matter what Kevin says about it's just you guys asking questions, bullshit. There's a reason why, since Kyrie was suspended, starting last Friday, y'all went 2-1, and there's a lighter atmosphere around the team. I wonder why that is. Because Kyrie ain't with you on the road. Ain't nobody asking you no questions about him. You're just playing basketball. Funny how everyone has heard the phrase addition by subtraction, right? You cannot replace that level of talent, But guess what? Coming to work just seems so much more fun without him being around and having to answer for him.
Yeah, I mean, 100% it does. I mean, of course, before he met with Adam Silver, and apparently, things went well. They're going to try to, you know, ease into his return with the Nets. There was buzz that he might not be with the Nets. So I don't know what the future looks like for Kyrie or what it's going to look like when he's back. But again, he's serving that 5-game suspension for his, let's just say how he acted post anti-Semitic social media
Jenna,
posting.
tell me if this felt this way to you. So we saw the 6 points that Kyrie had to satisfy in order to return. To me, that seemed like being called to the principal's office, right? And like, all right,
it seemed very childish.
right? And again, I'm not saying that Kyrie should not be penalized for what he did. Clearly, he should be. But given who Kyrie is and his defiance over the last week and a half regarding this particular film that he promoted on his social media account, what makes you think he's going to adhere to those 6 things and be totally cool? Like, yep, no problem. I'll do all that.
That's the thing. I'm so curious to see how this conversation went down and what exactly I don't know, what did you drop a contract? Like, what did you do here? What this all is. Cause I mean, these bullet points here, he's got to apologize, condemn the movie, the $500K donation. So now they're taking it back, I guess. Remember they said, the ADL said that they couldn't accept it because he didn't seem genuine in his social media apology. So that's happening. The sensitivity training, the anti-Semitic training, all of that, meeting with people and demonstrating understanding of it. You're going to come back before all of this is accomplished, I'm assuming. So I'm just curious, like, are these actions, who's making sure the actions happen? And like, is it too much? Is it not? I know this was a big debate online. It was very interesting.
Yeah, for sure. I just want to shout out Thomas Manzanero, who's watching us right now. He's an MMA fan, but he's really interested in betting on basketball. We'll listen with attention to your live. I will say this, Thomas, there are no games tonight, so you're not betting on any NBA games tonight. But stay tuned. Follow all of our social media feeds at 7-Footer Spot, at 7-Footers Podcast. We might toss out some winners for you guys here. If you guys know, last season, every time I gave you guys bets on Tuesdays, one of them came up a winner. So stay close to us. Follow us on social, Thomas, and you'll find out some interesting things. All right, back to Kyrie. Look, I'm with you, Jenna. I don't think he's going to satisfy these things. And there was talk that the reason why the Nets put that out there is because they know he's not going to satisfy those requirements. And that then gives them license to be like, well, you know what, Kyrie? We're just going to just end this right now and just, let's just walk away. My thing is, why are we going through the charade of pretending he's going to listen to this? And now the NBPA is talking about, we don't like the requirements he had to adhere to. Look.
And he's the president.
Yes, vice president. Yes, CJ McCollum's president. He's one of the vice presidents. Look.
Yes.
Again, taking away the points about promoting an anti-Semitic film and everything else. Jenna, Kyrie plays basketball. Basketball is a team sport. Operative word, team. You are supposed to be there for your brothers, right? And your teammates. The stat has been listed a million times in his 4 years with the Nets. 111 games played, 128 missed. It's always something with this dude. Last year, it was the vaccine. The year before that, it was PTO. The year before that, it was injury. This year, every year, it's something with him. At some point, the juice is not worth the squeeze. You are not getting the value for the money you have to play, right? Every time. And again, when he's doing these things and he's talking about whatever he wants to talk about, and he's, and he's doing his, all right, well, I'm standing up for my community, this, that, and the third. Look, no one's saying you can't do those things. But if you're going to be a voice in your community, you have to have the ability to discern truth from propaganda, right? If you're going to take that kind of very public and important position, he clearly doesn't have that ability to discern that. promoting that kind of material, promoting Alex Jones conspiracy theories. Okay. And again, you do that now after games. Guess what? We come in and we ask questions, not about basketball, about these things. You are doing it to yourself,
Right.
right? I mean, these are all self-inflicted things.
It's from the outside looking in, to me, this is the way it looks, that I see why the public, aside from the clear wrong thing that he did, I see why the public is so upset with him about the way his attitude is, or the way his attitude seems. It seems as though the Nets have done every single step, jumped through hoops of fire to make this guy look good. Like, oh, we're going to make sure he completes these 6 requirements. Oh, we're going to make sure he apologizes. But every
We're
time
going
he
to shield
has,
him from the media, all kinds of stuff.
right, shield him from the media, help save him. And every time he steps in front of a microphone, it's an issue. The only time that there wasn't an issue was when he put out the written apology in that social media post, which came after countless efforts by the Nets to shield him.
And
To
came after he was suspended, right?
yeah, after the suspension. So I'm just like, I wonder how this dude really feels, or like if he's ever going to come out and say something that does seem genuine. I don't know. It's just, and
So,
again, I'm not saying he's a bad person. It's just
yeah,
that's the way he comes off. It really is.
here's some insight for our listeners out there about NBA players. This league is made up of people who have made it to the highest level of basketball, despite people in their lives telling them they would never make it. So the league is full of players built on defiance. Because think about it, right? Of the millions of kids that play basketball all around the world, the likelihood of any one of them making the NBA is limited, right? We talk about it all the time. There's only 450 spots available, and there aren't 450 spots available every year. That's not how it works, right? At most, there's maybe 25, 30 spots available per year, right? Okay. So you've got to be really good at basketball to make it to this league. So when people, you're probably not going to make it, what have you, I'll show you. But so when you have, not only did you make it, Jenna, you made it and you are rich beyond your wildest dreams. That gives you a level of confidence like, nobody could tell me no about anything. I know what I'm doing. Y'all said I wasn't going to make it. Oh, look at me now. Multi-millionaire, this, that, and the third. That's one piece. Second piece. Kyrie is someone who, I don't know if he still does this now, but early in his career, he used to practice 1-on-3. When you are able to dominate and score the basketball when it is you versus 3 other people, that gives you another level of confidence. Like, look how good I am. 3 people can't stop me. Like, right? You believe your own myth making, right? The mythology. You're like, oh, I must be golden.
Yeah.
And when you were constantly told your whole life, as Kyrie was, how special you are, how smart you are, again, you start believing that hype. And, it is interesting. And again, the juice, not worth the squeeze for the Nets at this point, Jenna.
Nope.
He's not showing up to work. But again, because of things he is doing to himself.
The suspension did not have to happen. It didn't even have to go this far.
Jenna,
He
if
could
he
be
just
playing.
apologized, if he apologized on Saturday, we're not even talking about this right now.
Yeah. And what's so, and but I don't want to go off on a tangent, but also remember when he, got into it with Nick Friedel of ESPN,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was there.
and
Yeah,
he
yeah.
was so, yeah, you were
Defiant.
there, and he was so defensive and so adamant about defending himself.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the apology, he was like, that film did have some things or whatever he had said in it. Like, and I'm just like, dude, you just denied like all of this like 24 hours ago. So interesting. I mean, they're also, in search of a new head coach there. Like it's a shit show in Brooklyn a little
Listen,
bit.
and we heard the rumors that reported that Ime Udoka, like, Brooklyn, what are you doing? This team, why are you courting more drama? So you got the Kyrie thing going on. You're going to bring in Ime Udoka, who, as we all know, suspended as the Boston Celtics head coach for an inappropriate consensual relationship with a female subordinate employee. So on that introductory press conference, if he's hired, guess what questions are being asked? Like, why? Why are we inviting the circus to town? As I said on a bunch of other platforms, the Nets have nothing on Barnum and Bailey. Literally nothing. Like, I mean, it is like,
Oh, that's funny.
it's just like, or should I say, let me rephrase that. Barnum and Bailey has nothing on the Brooklyn Nets. It is 3 rings over there. A literal circus. Why are you inviting the bearded lady, the one-eyed man? Why? Just leave it alone. Honestly, Jenna, this is what I think should happen. Send Kyrie home. We're done. We're going to waive you. You're going to get paid, whatever, but we're done with you. This team's got to rebuild. Trade Kevin Durant, get back some young talent, and get back some draft capital.
Oh, you want to blow it up?
Blow it up. Blow it up. Blow it up. It is not going to work. Blow it up. Blow it up.
Oh, okay. Well, oh man. Wow. Okay. Well, I just feel like Katie would be so pissed. Like, I feel like this was the year that he thought,
but we're not trading
it's
him.
happening.
They're not going to trade him to some like crappy team. They're going to trade him to a good team, a contender, But they're going to get back picks and some young talent and rebuild.
True. We shall see how it plays out. And of course, there's so many moving parts in Brooklyn. We'll keep you posted on all that. But real quick, congrats to Dwight Howard, who after 18 NBA seasons is going to play in Taiwan. He posted that on social media this week, and kudos to him getting back on the court.
Continuing his basketball career. It looks like that WWE career is going to be on hold just for now.
Just a little bit. Guys, just because there's no games tonight, just go back in your archive here and listen to more 7 Footers.
Exactly.
And then the NBA will resume with plethora of games for the rest of the week,
No
back
doubt.
to regular schedule. And tell them where they could find us, Jarod.
I will tell you that in a minute. Again, thanks to Thomas Manzanero for tuning in. He said the NBA is such a good league and a show. Basketball is not as developed in Europe. You Americans are lucky. Well, I will say this. The 3 best players in the NBA, arguably right now, are not American. Giannis Antetokounmpo, Nikola Jokic, and Luka Doncic.
Yeah.
All hail from European countries. So,
a lot of talent.
Just going to put that out there. You guys are a lot better than you think you are at basketball. All right, guys, you know where to find us. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, SoundCloud, all that at 7 Footers Pod on Twitter, at 7 Footers Podcast on Instagram, at JS Hector, at Jenna Lemoncelli. And until next time, everybody, peace.
Spent a couple years out here with these raps, trying to have a plan that we made come true. Applied to some jobs, but I ain't hit back. I don't want to trap. What some man gonna do? Chevy told me come.